showtime! Let's go! Let's go!
Yo, what is going on, Patriots Nation? It is your full-time scientist, fuller-time sports fan, and turning 27 tomorrow, Soor the science guy.
Wow, I didn't know that. Happy birthday.
Thank you. And
A good
the
old-
best birthday present you can give me is if you're listening to this, give us a sub on YouTube, give Gazette a sub on Spotify, and listen to all of our episodes.
And donate us $1,000.
That's right. That's right.
Or more if you're feeling more inclined.
Which we'll, of course, use exclusively to bring you the latest and new content and all of that jazz.
It's to get your signed Bryce Behringer jersey.
That's right. I will sign a Bryce Behringer jersey. I'm sure that has value.
Especially after the last few weeks.
Oh my goodness, he's playing so well. And so is the entire team. This is really something. The way we're playing right now. How are you feeling overall?
It feels like we're back. We're back. The Patriots are back like we never left. Wasn't the best win. Like I would have loved to see a blowout, but I mean, it was also good seeing us just pull out a gritty win a win that we should have had, but still still pulling it out was nice. I just had too many memories of just losing games that we definitely should have won just in the past.
You mean like 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago against the Steelers?
Yeah, but I mean,
and 5 weeks ago against the Raiders.
I guess we should be 6-0. We should be
genuinely. But I agree. I think it's you won the tough test, the one that nobody was expecting you to win, and then you go and take care of business against an opponent that everybody was expecting you to beat. But honestly, an opponent in New Orleans that came to us with a few challenges. I thought the Saints played quite well. I thought they made life difficult for us. And I think we rebounded. There was ebb and flow to that game. We took a big early lead. They came back. They took a brief lead. We got up big again. They came close. So this game had all the ebb and flow. It was an away game again, and we took care of business. And this is the taking care of business part of the season. But teams lose games like this all the time. When you look at the reason teams don't make the playoffs, it's not always just that they lost to the teams that are better than them. It's often because they lost some of these gamey games that they didn't take that seriously.
Mm-hmm.
And the NFL's been a little bit upset happy lately, and so it's important to avoid it. And we did. I thought overall we played pretty well.
Yeah, I think so too. I think the refs played a huge part in how close the game was. And our defense just looked just off. Obviously, they didn't play horrible because the Saints didn't put up a ton of points, but there were some plays where it was just I don't know. Chris Olave was kind of cooking, and there were just some plays that were just okay, that was way too big of a play given up.
Yeah, I think first of all, there were a lot of chunk plays, and then on top of that, they were consistently able to get 5 to 7 yards on a lot of their first downs. They set themselves up well in a lot of the series and a lot of the sets of downs, made life easy for themselves, and I think we could have done a much better job penetrating. Honestly, the way we did against Josh Allen, I feel like, crazy enough to say, I think we put Josh Allen under more pressure and we gave him more duress than we did Spencer Rattler. And so
I just don't think I guess we just didn't play as aggressive as last week or the week before, I guess. But it was a little too bend don't break instead of blitzing. I feel like we should have blitzed a lot more.
Absolutely, especially Spencer Rattler is a young player. He still hasn't quite found his bearings within the NFL. But the one thing that you can't give any quarterback that's good enough to make it to the NFL is a clean pocket. Doesn't matter who it is, and especially Rattler's finally starting to get into a rhythm. The worst thing you can do is allow him to continue in that rhythm. Give him time, give him space. The best thing you can do to a young quarterback is just put him under constant duress, and that should have been the strategy against Rattler. And I mean, part of it was play calling, part of it was execution, but these are the things you learn. You just can't take any quarterback in the NFL for granted. Anybody in the league has gotten there because they are capable of completing passes when they have clean pockets.
And every kicker is in the league because they can make kicks, just like Chad Ryland, right?
That's right.
Best kicker ever.
Although I'd say Andy Borregales is starting to give him a run for his money.
I'm like, this is the first week where, like, when he lines up for a kick, like, I'm not sweating it. I'm just like, all right, I think he's pretty reliable at this point. I don't think he's missed any since Miami.
No, he missed. He missed the one field goal against the Raiders, and then he missed those extra points against Miami, and then the jitters were over.
Yeah,
not bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's get straight into it. Let's talk about what we liked. Let's talk about what we didn't.
What are we starting with?
Oh, let's start up.
Start up. Okay, up is it was good to see Demario Douglas like finally have a big moment. That huge touchdown was awesome. And then the second one that eventually got called back, I was like so excited because it was like, okay, yeah, we scored 2 touchdowns. But that was like I was more so hoping for Douglas's like confidence just to skyrocket more so than anything, because it was weird seeing him from going like as our perceived like most safe roster lock to like kind of an afterthought in the offense was kind of wild. But I mean, even though he didn't get that second touchdown, I think he still like that deep shot was awesome. And it shows that like he does have a spot on this team and the ability to like make big plays. So that was cool.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think the formula is that, Gillette Gazette writes off a guy, they go off the next week. So yeah, I'm saying it here. The defense, you all are terrible and will not succeed. I'm writing you all off. I'm writing the entire defense off.
Yeah, they're not good, dude. They're like Baltimore's defense out there.
Exactly. So go off. No, I think that's a really good pick. I think he was struggling to find his role, and I think he was lacking that chemistry with May, and I think this week fixed a lot of that. And I think chemistry is one of those things where you just need to get that first game where that connection is built, and then you can just keep building on it and building a foundation. We know that May was comfortable with Douglas last year, and so it was just a matter of getting back to where he was. I think for me, and on a similar vein, because this involves a couple of the plays from Douglas, the downfield passing game, and a lot of this is May, but some of this is definitely some of this you got to give credit to McDaniels, because he listened. We said we wanted more aggression. We wanted to open up defensive a little bit, really establish that deep threat. And Drake May took a lot of shots and succeeded. And he did it in a smart way. There are quarterbacks that will take deep shots willy-nilly and not think about the coverages that they're doing it against. But Drake May does it in an intelligent way. He picks his moments. He does it the right amount. Josh McDaniels is complementing that with his play calling. And I mean, some of the throws he was making, including some of the ones that were called back, like that throw to Diggs, one of the best throws I've seen in a long time. The kind of throws that there are probably only 3-4 other quarterbacks who can make that throw in that situation. Tugging on the jersey, I think third and long, gotta have it, and he throws an absolute dart and Diggs is all the way with him. And then he touches the cornerback, and it's called a push off because that's how it apparently works. But we can't control what the refs do, but we can control what we do. And I thought I liked May's approach to the game. He followed up a legendary performance against Buffalo with a really, really good one, arguably I'd say equally good. And this time it was end to end. He took him. Yeah. So yeah, very happy with the aggression and the pass game.
Yeah, it was a breath of fresh air to see us throw deep a little bit.
Yeah, and on a similar vein, like it allowed us to get kick started. I mean, I feel like slow starts have been a problem all year, and we were actually finally able to, score on our first offensive series and actually start with an early lead, which is something we haven't done in a while.
So my turn for my next up. I'm going to take your thunder, I think. It's kind of a quiet one, but it was good seeing Efton Chisholm finally suiting up. And he did pretty good on kickoff returns. Like he had a couple of, like, they weren't like huge gains, but it wasn't like he was getting stopped at the 20. But just seeing him finally suited up is exciting, and I'm hoping to see a little bit more from him in offense. We just need to see more younger guys who have a lot to prove. Just kind of show off and just kind of see what they can do and add to the team.
Yeah, 100%. It was really refreshing seeing him on the field, and I think that we could not be walking into a more perfect opportunity to try some new stuff. With all due respect to the Titans, like this is a game where we can try a lot of new stuff, and seeing what we can get out of Efton Chisholm is going to be important. I feel like he provides a unique skill set. He's shifty. He's elusive. He's competitive. There are things that he can bring to the football field. We saw in the preseason just how good he can be, but we never got to see him build chemistry with Drake. It was all with Dobbs and Wooldridge. So if he can do that well with those two guys, imagine what Drake can bring out of him. Yeah, absolutely. I think for my second positive, I'm gonna go Keyshawn Boutte. It's just ever so reliable all the time. It's never the flashiest of players, but just runs good routes, catches the ball. Drake loves him, and for a good reason. He's doing all the right things. He's becoming an integral part of this offense. We were having questions about whether we should keep him on the roster, but I'm wondering whether he's like a pseudo number one right now. The way May is connecting with him, obviously, he doesn't have the skill set of a Diggs, and Diggs is probably our official number one. But I'd say like it's like 1A and 1B just in terms of how the reliability with which Drake can go to him. It's kind of like in San Francisco, I was watching the game and like Kendrick Bourne's not their best weapon, skill set wise, but there was just something about his connection with Mac Jones and Mac Jones just kept wanting to go to him.
I think it reminds me of like Jamar Chase and T. Higgins.
A little bit, yeah. Absolutely.
But better.
Right. Oh, absolutely.
Way better.
Chase and Higgins wish.
Yeah.
Yeah, I no longer feel anything about us not getting T. Higgins. Genuinely, like it would have been nice, but I feel like we've got a nice group of receivers. They work for May. Like as far as fit with the quarterback, this is pretty good.
And I mean, it's like, okay, I was thinking, do we want to make a trade for like a superstar receiver, or is that how does that affect the chemistry that we're building with the young guys we already have.
No, instead just get Kyle Williams out there and see what he can do.
Or Trey Hendrickson. Just get a. We need. What if we get? We need that one stud edge rusher next to Harold Landry, and I feel like we'll be off to the races.
100%.
Yeah.
All right, third up.
My third up, it's got to be Marcus Jones. He's unreal. He had, let's see, he didn't have a pick, but I think he had. I just looked it up. He had five sacks or 5 tackles, a sack, and a couple of pass deflections. But just all over the field the last few weeks, he's done everything for us. Punt return touchdown, almost 2 of them. I mean, he picked off Josh Allen. He's made incredible just deflections. Has been great in coverage, and then now he sacked Spencer Rattler. Like, he's all over the place. The defense is just. I don't know if it's play calling or what, but for whatever reason, like, he's just absolutely balling out this year.
I feel like he's gone up a level this offseason. He was always the freak athlete. We knew what he was capable of physically. We knew his speed. We knew his agility and just his natural instincts and senses, reflexes and all of that. But I feel like he's combined that now with like discipline and understanding of the game, and I feel like he's up to his football IQ level. And there's more logic to the things he does. He follows the ball better. I feel like he's seeing the game. His eyes are like, I guess the speed of his eyes and his brain are starting to catch up with the speed of his legs is the best way to put it. And all of that is coming together in like he's getting to the point where he could be a cornerback 2 or 1 in due time. Like I don't think he will as long as Gonzo's on this team, but he's getting to that level of talent where he keeps going this direction, and we'll be starting to talk about him in Pro Bowl conversations and things like that.
Right.
So I 100% agree. Let's see, my third up. I gotta do it. Bryce Behringer has been amazing this season. It's just like the distance, the placement. He's flipping the field, and this was a game where flipping the field was an important part of the equation. I feel like one of the underrated issues we had in some of the post Brady years was punter issues. That year where we were tag teaming between Jake Bailey and Michael Pilardi, it was just awful. And not being able to flip the field made the offensive problems even worse. But to have an offense who can produce drive in and drive out, and when they can't, be able to pin the opponents back deep in their own territory time and time again, it's a very, very valuable skill set. And when you can do it almost no matter how deep you're pinned, it's a very important part of the game. I feel like he's always had the power in his leg, but he's starting to get a sense of the right hang time, the right placement, being able to prevent return. So the meme has turned in very much into reality. I feel like he is genuinely becoming one of the best in his position, at least in the league.
Oh yeah, I don't think there's much debate there. I mean, I wonder how many people really have arguments about who the best punter in the league is. But I mean, I think it'll be a matter of time before he's a household name of, like, as far as punters go, I guess.
Yeah.
Like, of course we know who he is, but if we were to say, "Oh yeah, Bryce Behringer," like, some random person would be like, "Who?" Like, even like a big sports fan would be like, "Who's that?"
Yeah, but this is where he needs to start developing his personality. Start throwing the ball. Get a little Pat McAfee vibe going. One of the most famous sports personalities right now is a former punter. Bryce Behringer can be that guy.
That's true, dude. You just got to get a little more swag, get some dances out there after he pumps a 70-yarder.
Yeah, yeah. But I
Get
think
some fake punts.
like a more like if we want to not do special teams, like I'd say one positive for me is the fact that like we withstood rallies. Like I think the general coaching strategy, the general situational coaching. How do you react when you're in the lead? How do you react when you're trailing? How do you react when you need to ice the game? All of these kind of critical moment situations that Mayo did such a bad job of. McDanielson handling it nicely on the offensive end. Not I already forget the name of the guy who I shouted out last week that is killing it as our interim defensive caller, but Zach something.
Kerr.
Oh yeah, Zach Kerr. Zach Kerr, right. KUHR. Yeah.
Yeah.
Zach Kerr is calling good situational defense. I think I don't think this was his best defensive game plan overall, but he got the team to play the right defense at the right moments. The Saints had chances to go take a lead that we were able to prevent them from really being able to take advantage of. And then the offense figured out the right play calls to be able to ice the game at the end. We were able to handle things when we were down, when we were very briefly down. So all of these like clutch moments, these clutch situations were things that just were not working out last year. And a lot of those issues were schematic. So I think both in the big picture with the head coach, the way that Vrabel's coaching overall, and then the way that the coordinators are calling their plays, I think it's all working nicely, and they know how to manage these clutch moments.
Mm-hmm.
That's a positivity, but we are like Vrabel, we're critical. We scrutinize our team and we want to get better. So let's talk about what do you want to see improved?
Another week, dude, and the run game still sucks. I'm sick and tired of Drake being our leading rusher, especially now that we have Travion. Like this is getting old where it's just like, oh, 3 yards, oh, 3 yards, oh, you just got stopped in the backfield because it's a slow developing play. Like we need to get something figured out.
Absolutely. I mean, especially in the second half of this game, like they not only were we barely able to get much penetration going forward, the Saints consistently got negative plays in the backfield. Like we were constantly set up with like 2nd and 13, 2nd and 12s. Because the running game couldn't even the running backs couldn't even make it back to the line of scrimmage. And there were some gaffes on the offensive line end of things that allowed that to happen. Drake May didn't allow it to appear as much on the passing game, but he was also under some duress. He's just that mobile, and he was able to get out of it. But and he was also sacked a few. Do you know how many times he was sacked? I think
only once or twice. I don't really think it was many.
But I think a lot of the credit for that goes to him, both his quick release and his mobility. But there was a lot of penetration into the backfield on the first and second levels of the defense. So I think there's some work to be done on Doug Marone's end of things as well, in addition to on the running back's end. But at the same time, I do think the running back position is something that needs to be addressed a little bit, because we talked about the formula for getting the running game going: throw the ball deep and open things up. Drake May did his part. People were the threat of the pass has been established. People are scared of it, and we still weren't able to get a running game going. And it's about time. Drake May was the leading rusher, and he only had 29 yards.
Yeah, not good.
is this kind of one-dimensionality will not work in the playoffs. And forgive me for looking ahead, but I think this is the level we're at. Like, we can start thinking about that.
Mm-hmm.
The big games when we play Tampa, if Lamar is back, when we play Baltimore, when we play Buffalo next,
If Cincinnati's back, or if Joe Burrow's back in Cincinnati when we play
Yeah.
Cincinnati, like
Or
there's some
honestly,
games.
Honestly, when we play the Giants, I didn't have that penciled in as a tough game, but goodness, they looked good on Thursday.
Mm-hmm.
For me, it's stopping the run. We allowed too many chunk plays from the running game, and honestly in the passing game too. Like, just generally, we made life very, very, very easy. And speaking of the Giants, like, if we want to stop Cam Scatterview, we have to do something. Like, we have to get a lot better. And to be fair, I think we did. Like, this was inferior defense to what we played last week. I think there are some of it. I think was post big game hangover. But we're in the business part of the season. We're going to play some more weak teams, and we need to be ready to take care of business.
Yeah. Trying to think of my other down. I can't. Maybe okay. I think a down is just the fact that we don't really have anyone outside of Harold Landry as an edge rusher really that's going to get consistent pressure. It was just last year we thought Keon White was going to be that guy because he looked awesome in the offseason and preseason and then just never really blossomed. And then now he's kind of looking like a bust at this point.
Yeah, he's just kind of looked normal. I agree. I think we need that. We need that game breaker. You know, when we had, we had Judon. We also had Wise on the other side wreaking his own havoc. We had Josh Uche in the interior wreaking his own havoc, and so it was a multi-headed beast. You can't just put it on one guy to do all the work. I think the guys on the interior are doing a decent job. But yeah, I think we need that one extra edge guy.
Mm-hmm. And if only we could get Trey Hendrickson, dude.
Yeah, I will say, and you know, we didn't have enough ups for this, but I think Ross Spillane has been playing really, really good football. He is quickly becoming an integral part of this team, and he's doing well on the tackling end of things. He's a good pass, like he's doing well against the pass and against the run. Very solid. But yeah, we need a Trey Hendrickson type guy, someone who can really break the game wide open and just add some extra havoc.
That would be huge, especially like once we get to the end of the season, we are having some of those tough matchups like a Lamar and another Josh Allen game and Jackson Dart, his mobility, and then even going into the playoffs, like we need that player to take us over the edge.
Yeah, we too. I'm just gonna appreciate the fact that you said Jackson Dart in the same sentence as Joe Burrow and Lamar Jackson.
Lamar and Josh.
Playing well.
I was just saying mobility wise.
Yeah, he's playing well. He's playing good football.
Yeah.
And we all know what happened when we faced the Giants in the preseason. It was very ugly. But luckily, we don't have Ben Wolvers this time, so it'll be fine.
Right.
No, I fully agree. We need that extra game breaker. I feel like we have those in almost all the other position groups, but it's missing on that opposite edge position.
Mm-hmm.
I was hoping for more from Keon White as well, and I'm still hoping that he can turn it around and really get going, because I feel like he has the talent. I think it's a question of execution. I think for my second down, again, I'm just going to say the usage of Kyle Williams. I keep saying this. I don't get it. I think he's too good to be used as infrequently as he's getting used. And
Yeah, he only had 14 snaps, I think.
we're not going to get a sense of what he can do for us. And I'm not going to put him in the same sentence as Javon Baker, but we never really figured out what Javon Baker could or couldn't do for us last year because we didn't put him out there. We do not want to risk that with someone as talented as Kyle Williams.
Yeah.
So yeah, but you know, we do our downs, but we're 4-2. We've equaled our win total from the last 2 seasons in only 6 games.
That's awesome.
And I don't think our next game is going to really threaten that. I was watching the 4 p.m. slot of football after our game, and for some reason NFL Red Zone decided to show a significant portion of that Tennessee Las Vegas game, and I was just like salivating at the prospect of playing Tennessee. They are truly awful.
They are really bad. Cam Ward is like the only bright spot. Like he looks good sometimes, but then he's making like just bad I think he had 2 fumbles that game.
Yeah. He's just, I mean, and he's not, you know, he's not surrounded by the right talent right now. He's not being put in a position where he can make the most out of his skill set. And I think he's not a completed product. I think he's very much a flawed quarterback. I think he'll get there, but
well, then to make matters worse too, it's like he's not only surrounded by like the ghost of Calvin Ridley and Tony Pollard, but they also, I think they just fired their coach today.
right?
Yeah, so it's like they're just full on just like giving up at this point. 5 games into the season.
Yeah, and it's, you know, they didn't allow a ton of points because the Raiders are also really bad, but the defense was porous as well. Like they're not much is working out for them, and you know, I don't think it, like, they did have that bright spot game last week against the Cardinals. They had that nice comeback, and you know, we can't take them completely for granted. They've got some weapons, but
And Joey Sly.
That's right. That's right. But it's to be honest, it's hard to see a scenario in which they threaten us.
So it'd be a good revenge game for what they did to us last year after we had that awesome play at the end of regulation and then lost in overtime.
Yeah, I mean, it was really a crowning moment for Drake May, and it was quickly ruined by
Drake May.
Get Calvin Ridley revenge game.
I hope not.
Wanted him. They do have weapons. Obviously Calvin. They have you know, Van Jefferson is a very fundamentally sound football player. He absolutely knows what he's doing. He's I think a 6th-year vet now in the NFL, and solid, not unbelievably talented, but definitely someone that defenses have to game plan for. And then you've got you know, you've got Pollard at running backs, but there's some playmakers there. I think what the Titans lack is well-rounded production across the position groups. They have individual playmakers who can play well, but a lot of holes in that offensive line. Skronsky's a good center, but other than that, it's quite porous. And then the defense just doesn't have much in the way of people who can really put Drake May under duress.
I can't even think of one good player they have on D. I'm really struggling to think of
I think
players that we need to
he's
game
the only
plan.
player that I can think of that can really threaten us.
Oh, that's right. I forgot he's there now.
But we now have the wide receiver depth where we can only go that direction when we need to and spread the ball out elsewhere. I think this is one of the areas where it really helps to have a quarterback who knows how to use all of his weapons.
Uh-huh. Well,
Um,
yeah, and it's nice because it's like, okay, so what? Sneed's out. Like, we'll just take Sneed out of the game just because he's on Diggs. But it's like we do have Booty and we do have Henry and like we do have a couple of like guys that have shown that they can step up when the time calls for it.
yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, and Henry's been stepping up all season. I don't think the Titans are very strong at linebacker. So I think there could be a lot of really good tight end play.
If only they had an edge rusher that didn't let walk in free agency too, you know?
That's right.
And Harold Landry.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, Harold Leonard could be very, very useful for them right now. Instead,
Yeah.
he's gonna see a lot of Cam Ward. He's gonna give a greeting. This reminds me a lot of last year's game against the Bears, where I think we're just like the key to this game, like in that game, is going to be just to put the young quarterback under as much duress as possible.
Yeah.
Something that we failed to do last week, frankly. But even though the teams have the same records, I think I think this is a very different level of difficulty. But I think I think when you're looking, if you're Zach Kerr, you look at this game, you look at the things that didn't work against the Saints, and you think that you just gotta come in with aggression, gotta really bother Cam Ward as much as possible, because I mean he's a rookie quarterback. The best way to bother a rookie quarterback who played in the ACC is to give him something he hasn't really seen before: pressure.
Mm-hmm. And he's not particularly mobile. Like he can move around the pocket well, but he's not going to hurt you with his feet. So it's not like there's just a layer of his game that he doesn't have that a lot of other quarterbacks we have played do have. Like even Rattler is like he can move a bit. Like there was even some design runs, but like no, you're not going to see really any of that with Cam Ward.
Yeah, no, it's a good point. I think you have your best shot when you flush him out of the pocket as much as possible, because he's a tough kid. He's a good competitor and he's got a nice arm. Like I've said earlier in this pod, there's no quarterback in the NFL who can't make you pay for leaving him with a clean pocket. And Cam Ward's no exception to that, even if his team isn't playing really well. They've got some weapons there, and the best way to stop good weapons is to prevent quarterbacks from getting in a position where they can use them. It doesn't matter whether you have Van Jefferson, Calvin Ridley, or Jamar Chase, or Justin Jefferson, or anybody. If there's no time or space for the quarterback to throw the ball, it won't matter.
Yeah.
And so at that point, it's about our ever improving every week cornerback group to get those 2-3 seconds of close covers that they need, and then let the pass rush take it from there. I also, again, I think this is the perfect week for the Patriots to experiment a little bit on offense. Potentially a get right game for the running backs, an opportunity for them to use Kyle Williams and Afton Chisholm a lot more. See what they really have, and see what kind of plays they can draw from them. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I think like this can't be the week that we're like, oh yeah, put in just all the unproven guys and like not give the Titans a fair like assessment just because they are like a pro team. But on the other hand, it's like I think we do have a little bit of leeway where we for sure should try some new things and let the young guys play a little bit. Um, yeah, like I don't know. I don't think Mac Hollins has been awesome and reliable, but you can't tell me he's like an actual better receiver than Kyle Williams.
Yeah,
Like
I fully
talent
agree.
wise, like I'm sure like he's a veteran, but like what has he really done in the league to be like this guy deserves to be like on the field all this time?
Yeah, and that I can appreciate the fact that there's chemistry with Drake and him at this point, but the only way to give chemistry is that you kind of have to force it a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Um, you kind of have to um, try new looks that you might not be that familiar with, and this is a good game to try a thing like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Kyle, like yes, you don't want to go overboard with it, but Kyle Williams is an extremely good player. I feel like there's a lot of potential that can be drawn out of him, but we have to figure out what his role is on this team.
Right. I mean, he did get a couple targets last week, and then like I think one was he ran the wrong route, and two was defensive pass interference. But it was good seeing him at least getting targeted when he's out there. But I think I want to see him out there at least for sure more than 14 plays.
Yeah, yeah, it's not enough to really get your bearings in, and it's not enough um, for you to get significant targets.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I'll have you go first. How do you think this game shakes up? Give some score predictions.
I think we win big. This is gonna be my most bold prediction, but I say we win 35-9. I was gonna say 10. And I'm like, I don't even think they'll score a touchdown on this.
Yeah. I don't even think they do that much. I'm going 33-6. I think this is going to be a very, very comfortable game for the Patriots. Obviously, they can't get careless. There are things they need to do right. There are places where the Titans can hurt us.
Mm-hmm.
Don't throw crazy. Don't make errant throws. Legarius needs way. And if this was last year's Drake May, I worry about him making mistakes that can make this game unnecessarily complicated. But this is not last year's Drake May, and I trust him to be smart with the way he throws the ball, and read the coverages properly, and again, like I said last week about the Saints game, it stays true this week. The key to this game, the two keys to this game are mistake-free offensive football and aggression on defense. And yesterday they did one of those two things. They played pretty mistake-free football,
Mm-hmm.
especially because a lot of the penalties were not actually mistakes. They were bad calls.
Right.
So I guess
Right.
that's one way we could lose this game if the refs choose to do this again. But we survived it once, we can survive it again.
Mm-hmm.
But I think we take care of business. We hopefully go to 5-2, which feels crazy to say,
Mm-hmm.
but we'll have our first 5-win season in a long, we'll have our first season with 5 or more wins in a long, long time.
Which will feel good being only 7 weeks in.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then it's like it's wild how we're like we're competing with Buffalo for the division at this point. Like
Yeah.
I don't know I don't remember what the score is right now for the Buffalo game, but when I hopped on here, they were losing 21-7 to Atlanta.
Yeah. Let's see. Oh yeah, they're down 24-14 with a minute
Yeah.
left of the ball. So there is a good time that you all see this podcast. The Patriots will be at the top of the division.
Which is wild. When's the last time that's happened?
2019. Genuinely, 2019 was the last time we were at the top of the division. No, briefly in 2021.
Yeah,
Right after
briefly, and
the
then
win game in Buffalo.
sure. The one where Mac hardly threw the ball or whatever.
Yeah, 2 for 3, 19 yards. A Belichickian masterclass.
Yeah, he was probably so proud of that one. But yeah, being at the top of the division is going to feel good.
And yeah, we've got the tiebreaker, and we've got, we'll play them at home next. And watching this game, like, it was very evident that the Bills don't have separators. Obviously, they have a
No.
phenomenal quarterback, and they have a solid group of receivers. But the way our cornerbacks are playing, the way Marcus Jones has evolved now, you play tight man, and they're not going to be able to do much.
No.
It's like the main players we're playing and find a way to stop Kincaid, and you can win that game pretty easily. Not easily.
Mm-hmm.
You can. There's a formula there.
Yeah.
So
Formula for sure.
we'll be back here next week, hopefully talking about our 5-2 division leading Patriots. But we've got some business to take care of first. The away game, can't take anything for granted in the NFL. But we should not lose this game.
Yeah, the Vrabel revenge game's gonna
That's right.
go crazy.
I think for that reason alone, I don't think there's a way we lose the game.
And we put up 50. 52-6.
Honestly, because if Vrabel's up big late, I don't know if he's benching May.
He won't bench May, and then Vrabel might strap up and head in on the D line as well.
He'll sack a Cam Ward. Don't mind it.
That would be awesome. Yeah, I think we win big though.
I don't know what the rules say about that. They should allow that.
They should. Like one play a game, the coach can line up like Andy Reid at nose tackle.
Patriots signed Mike Vrabel to a 1-day contract.
Could you imagine who at the end of the year would get more sacks between Mike Vrabel and Dan Campbell? Probably Vrabel. I guess Campbell played tight end, so he probably doesn't have the. I was just thinking he's just such a big dude. That would be awesome.
I think they Tom Curran asked Carlton Davis who would win in a fight between Dan Campbell and Mike Vrabel, and he said he didn't know. I think that would be a really good fight.
That would be the next pay-per-view UFC fight.
Yeah.
And then you got Kevin O'Connell throwing the ball too.
Oh my God, yes. I think
you can make an old man's league out of team out of all of the players or coaches in the league at this point.
A coach's bowl.
A coach's bowl would be awesome.
That would be sick. Maybe even just a 10-minute scrimmage during the Pro Bowl or something. Especially they're doing the flag football format. Why not?
Well, I mean, even the assistant coaches, I think Welkers is he the receivers coach for Miami or is he for Houston?
I think for Miami.
Amendola in Houston.
I think it's Amendola and Welker in Miami, which is disgusting.
Yeah. And then I think there's another one who's never mind. I was thinking he's the receivers coach for Ohio State, so never mind. But I mean there's a lot of players out there.
There's a lot there.
The coaching, so that'd be fun.
Yeah, what position did McVay play? Sure, McVay could get out there.
Did he play?
I know he played on some level, but I don't think he made it to the NFL.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like he's just too little, so it's probably quarterback or something.
Yeah. Honestly, I think Brian Daboll played football. I can't remember.
Cliff Kingsbury was a quarterback.
Wow, that's right.
I think he also played for New England for a time.
Yeah, I think
assistant coach.
I don't know if he played for us, but I know he was on our staff at some point.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe I'm meshing him with O'Connell because O'Connell played for us.
Right.
But
yeah, coach's bowl should be a thing.
Coach's bowl.
And on that note, we'll see you next week.